I promise you, this is completely true. I don't know, it's been a while now. When the first time I asked the lady that question, do you know why you want to have children? I promise you, most times when I ask that question, most people, male and female, don't have an answer to the question. They don't know why they want children. They don't know what the purpose of children are. And as a result, you can understand how it is difficult for us to do right by our children if we do not know the reason why we have children. You may have heard that statement before. I think it was Miles Monroe that said it. It says, I'm not sure who said it, but I think it's Miles Monroe. It says, when purpose is undefined, abuse is inevitable. Most of us think we know what we are doing, but I'm telling you, a lot of us are just running around doing what everybody else is doing because everybody else is doing it. Think about a headless chicken or somebody who is just going with the flow. How can you possibly know what your life is about? How can you possibly achieve the purpose for your life if you don't know what that purpose is? Even if you are going in the right direction, how can you know you are going in the right direction? When you get to the right bus stop, you won't get off the bus simply because you do not know that is where you are going, even though you were on the right bus. So this is a warning to all of us to get our act right. Let's ask ourselves, what is the purpose of children? Or should I say, what is the purpose of you? You will realize that the first statement that God made to mankind, the first statement that God made to humanity when He made us, said, and God blessed them. Genesis chapter 1, I think verse 28. And God blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply. Having children, being fruitful, is the first thing that God said to us before He even talked about having dominion. Before He even talked about replenishing the earth, taking care of it and making it better. Before He even talked about controlling what is around us, He said, be fruitful and multiply. He put a seed inside us to bring forth something that improves who we are for not our purpose, for His own purpose. Many of us do not understand the critical importance of this, and that is why we live our lives frivolously, carelessly. We don't live the way God expects us to live. We don't do the things God expects us to do. We don't understand how critical it is that we should take care of our offspring. I have this passage which I have read here before. Psalms chapter 127, which is talk about, children are the heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is His reward. I like to draw that distinction. Your own heritage is what you get from God or what you get from your parents, something you get from someone. That is your heritage. So when they say children are the heritage of the Lord, the Bible is not saying that children are your heritage. They're not saying that they are what you get from God. They are saying it's what God gets from you. Because when He made you, He told you to be fruitful and multiply. When He made you, He told you to bring forth children. Those children are not for you, they are for Him. And as those children grow up and they become adults, you see, it shifts from being about them to being about the children that they bring forth. Because what God is trying to do is bring forth beautiful offspring that He can use to create a wonderful world. Now, that may not necessarily be this world. It may be the world that is to come hereafter. But let's understand that very well. I'm going to read a couple of passages to us to help us understand that God is very particular about children. I've read this before. I'll read it again. This is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 through 8. Okay? Hold on a sec. Deuteronomy chapter 6. Okay. Deuteronomy 6, 6 through 8. He said, And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. God is very particular about the way you raise your children. Okay? And shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest in by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. When you are talking, when you are sleeping, when you are lying down, when you are sitting up, when you are standing, when you are walking, talk about what I am telling you to your children. God is very obsessive about that. Okay? And it says, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. Put something between your eyes that is dangling, telling you, reminding you about what God has done for you. Because the human heart is so frail. Our memory is so how do we say it? Human memory is poor. We forget important things. Some of us think, my goodness, I can't get into that in this video. Some of us, we don't remember what God has done for us. And as a result, we look back on life and we doubt. We look ahead and we fear because we are not sure that God can solve a problem that He has solved in the past. I remember I shared once about the challenges I had one time when I lost my faith. I was troubled in the spirit because I was wondering whether God can answer prayers. And I was asking Him, Lord, are you real? Are you for real? And for 3-4 days, He didn't say anything. On the 4th day, He said something to me that made me feel stupid. He said, have you ever prayed that I answered? And when He said that, I shook my own head and I felt sorry for myself. And I told Him, Lord, I'm sorry I doubted you. And from this day on, I will let God be true even if all men are liars. It doesn't matter how much information, how much evidence the world presents, I'm going to believe the word of God. And since then, by His grace, I've continued to grow in knowledge and revelation of Him. And I believe all of us need to get to the point where we can make that decision that, whatever God says will be good enough for us. The reason why I was asking that question is because I was doubting. And the reason why I was able to get to the end of it is because I remembered the things that He had done for me. Okay, and that's why God says, write it as a frontlet between your eyes. Put it on your walls, on the walls of your house, on the gates of your house. He said, write it upon the posts of your house and on your gates all the time, so that you can remember it and you can tell your children when you're lying down, when you're sitting up, when you're standing up, when you're walking, all the time. That's how obsessive God is about His word. That's Deuteronomy 6:6-8. Now, in addition to that, He looked at Abraham. And He said, am I going to do this thing when He was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? Am I going to do this thing without telling my friend Abraham? Because I know him, that he will command his home, his household. He will teach his children the things that I have taught him, the things that I want him to listen. God is the reason Abraham was trusted is because God knew that He was going to inform his children. Now, let me move quickly to another passage which I think we all need to look at. Malachi chapter 2, verse 16. Okay, is it verse 16? Hold on a sec. Yeah, verse 15 rather. It says, he was talking about divorce actually. And did He not make one? He didn't make two children. He didn't make two people. He made one person. When the two of you come together, you become one person. He said, did not He make one? Yet had He residue of the Spirit. And wherefore one? Why did He make one? That He may seek a godly seed. The reason God made a male and a female to become one person is so that He can get a godly seed out of them. That is what God is interested in. He wants to get something. So those of us who are irresponsible in the choices that we make, think again, get your act together. And in closing, I'll take us to 1 Corinthians chapter 7, which talks a lot about marriage and tells us that about how the unbelieving wife sanctifies the believing the believing wife sanctifies the unbelieving husband, and the believing husband sanctifies the believing wife, so that the children are clean. You see, God is very particular about the children, and you need to understand that in the way you live your life, in the choices that you make. God is about the children. It's not about you. You are important. He cares about you. He died for you too. But he is interested in raising a godly seed, a seed that will honor and glorify him. And then when we go to that Psalm 127, it goes into detail and says, listen, the reason why is because I need a people that will speak with the enemy in the gate. There is an Armageddon, there is an armada, there is a war that is coming, and God is preparing an army that is going to stand and face the devil. Look at the world we live in today. Look at how difficult it is to stand and speak the truth. You speak the truth in certain circles, some people will shut you down. You can lose your job, you can go to prison, you can lose your life. I have personally made some major sacrifices in my life because I'm trying to stand for the truth. I'm not saying it is easy, but listen, if you are not ready to let go of everything, how does the Bible say it? Is it the Bible that says it? No, it was one of those common statements, one of those common words, adages, that if you are not willing to die for something, you do not deserve to have it. And Jesus himself said it. If you cannot give up if you love your life more than you love me, you do not deserve to walk with me. You cannot be his disciple. You cannot walk with him. So I'm challenging you to do better. Begin to revisit the choices that you are making. Begin to revisit the things that you are thinking. Begin to understand the purpose for which you are made. It's not about you. Those children that you think are too young to serve God, to wake up early in the morning and to say prayers, the devil is killing some of them from the womb. The devil is capturing some of them as they are being born. The devil is recruiting them into the kingdom of darkness long before they are teenagers. And you are thinking that, well, they are too young to listen to the word of God. They are too young to pray. By the grace of God, my daughter was praying with me since from the time she was 2. And I want to trust that you can do better. We can at least as well. So that's the issue at hand, and I'm asking us as God's own, do better. Raise these children. It's not about you. It's about the children. Thank you for watching. More than the likes and the comments, which are important, I want you to share this video. Somebody may need to hear this word. And if there are questions, if there are things that I did not make clear or that you do not understand, by all means ask. God will help us. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.